Good morning, everyone. I hope my audio is clear, video is clear, and also the screen is clear. So, yesterday I was out somewhere and could not chat with you for a long time. So, today I thought I'll again come back and explain, clarify all your doubts. But first, tell me, are you happy with the exemption transition scheme what ICAI has announced? Are you satisfied? Do you feel that yes, Institute has given a good gift to all of us? Are you happy because of the notification announcement, the exemption transition? 2 days back, I was actually pretty upset because they didn't give the clarification. The question was asked, but now they have given the clarification. How many of you are happy that yes, there is something which is for us to look forward to, and it actually helps us? Do let me know in the chat box if you are excited. So yes, yes, okay, nice, good. Chalo. Lot of queries, but I'll just do a quick summary. Now, please remember, I'm not making this video very long so that you have to watch till the end to get entire clarification. Few important things that I want to clarify, both for intermediate as well as final students, is how they have to read this notification. I don't want to make a very long video and take extra time out of you. Now, exemption based on 60% or more marks. So if you have attempted a full group and you have scored 60% or more marks, then for the unexpired chances, so a lot of students believe that once I get exemption, it is forever. It is not forever. For the unexpired chances, that is, as per the current scheme, 3 attempt that is allowed. Or if you want to carry forward it indefinitely, then what you have to do, you need to score 50% or more in the remaining subjects. So it is your choice. Do I want to carry it for 3 attempts, or do I want to continue to take that exemption and score 50% or more in the remaining subject? Based on that, you can carry forward. CA final, it is straightforward, as I told you yesterday itself. Paper to paper exemption. So paper 1, paper 1, paper 2, paper 2, like that. And for corporate law, you have to write SPOM, Set A is exempt, Set B has to be written. And for SCMP, you have to write the Set B, Set B SPOM if you have cleared group 1. If you have cleared group 2, you have to write Set A, right? If you have cleared both the groups, then very happy, you have just passed the exam. The most important part here is paper 6, this exemption that has been given, that if you pass paper 6, and a lot of students have already started making strategies. What is the strategy? Sir, we have registered for group 1, now we will register or we will change for both the groups during the correction window, and then we'll pass this paper 6 because it is an open book examination. We can take case studies digest, we can copy the answers. That is also a valid strategy. By passing that, you actually get the exemption in this unknown paper called integrated business solution. And if you are following that strategy, my simple advice to you would be, if you have applied in group 1 for group 1 in the November 23 attempt, and now you want to write both the groups, my simple advice is your focus 100% should be here. Plus, if you want some focus here, take the focus here. And a lot of students are choosing 6D because that is linked to group 1 and it becomes easy for them to write. So choose the paper wisely, but don't think or don't try to hamper your group 1 preparation. Otherwise, group 1 will also not happen, group 2 will also not happen. Okay. And please remember, you have to write all the 4 papers. This is for the CA final students, and group to group exemption is straightforward, so this is self-explanatory. I don't need to explain much here. Now coming to intermediate, very very relaxing, very very generous, I should say. If I was the member in the council, I would not have approved this for sure, because advanced accounting is a very important paper for all of you. Not only CA Inter, of course it is. When you are doing your article shape, when you have to learn financial reporting in CA final, this is one paper which is very important, because advanced standards like revenue recognition, leases is there, right? Then you have aspects around consolidation, amalgamation, all of that is in advanced accounting. Now what is happening is, first I'll discuss paper to paper. If you pass accounting, or if you get exemption in accounting in the existing scheme, for example, already you have got in May 23, we have a lot of students who have passed group 1 in May 23. They have skipped very smartly. Already they have decided they will not write November 23, and now they will be writing only 2 papers, that is paper 5 and paper 6 in May 24 attempt. That is one. Second, advanced accounting to advanced accounting, it is anyways understood. So for group 2 students, there is nothing much, but for people who have passed group 1, there is a lot of relaxation. Lot means lot of relaxation. If you pass group 1, paper 1, 2, 3, 4, then what happens? You get exemption in advanced accounting automatically. Then you need to write audit and FMSM in the new syllabus. And if you manage to get exemption, a lot of students have already started planning for that. Sir, we will write first group with full preparation. We'll pass first group. Very good. Sir, then we will get exemption in EISSM or FMECO. Please remember, it is not very easy to get an exemption. So please keep that in mind when you are targeting for exemption. My suggestion to you, all of you who are writing in November 23 examination in the current attempt, is to target for passing the second group itself, rather than saying, no sir, I'll take FM Eco and I'll get exemption. You don't know. Institute is generous here. Paper setting may be tough. Then what will we do? We will get stuck. Neither this will happen nor that will happen. So my advice would be, prepare for the purpose of passing the examination. Yes, you may give extra effort in one of these paper 7 or paper 8, so that even if you are not able to clear for whatever reasons, you get exemption in that paper, and subsequently in May 24 the burden is actually reduced a lot. Now, the disadvantage for students who are choosing this route, that is, I will pass paper 1 accounting and I'll get exemption in advanced accounting, or I am not good at financial management, I will get exemption in EISSM and hence I'll get exemption in financial management and SM. Let me tell you, you will pass the exam, but it will be really difficult for you during articleship and during CA final. In fact, we'll be releasing a separate video on this, the challenges that the students would face. So even if you are not passing, or even if you don't want to write the examination, please learn the concepts, please understand the concepts. And that is one thing you need to understand, right? Now, coming to the third category of students, again here it is paper to paper exemption. Paper to paper exemption, a very long list. If I have to summarize, please listen to this carefully. If I have to summarize for all of you, as far as paper is concerned, for example, you have passed advanced accounting way back in 94 scheme, or PE2 my scheme, or PCC or IPCC, you will get corresponding exemption in advanced accounting. So accounting gives you exemption in advanced accounting. Similarly, law will give you exemption in law. Audit will give you exemption in audit. Only thing what has happened is, if you have clear cost accounting and financial management, earlier costing was also exempt, FM Eco was also exempt. So if that was your exemption. But now what has happened is, if you have passed that group which has cost accounting and financial management, you will still have to write financial management and strategic management. That exemption has not been given. So this scenario from point number 2 is applicable only if you have cleared the entire group. So if you have cleared a group which had cost accounting and financial management, you will get exemption in cost accounting. You will not get exemption in FMSM, which is weird, because earlier they gave cost accounting to financial management and cost accounting to cost accounting. Both the papers were exempted. Now they have not got that exemption. Now there is one more doubt what students have in mind is, sir, how many self-paced online modules that I need to write? Now as far as self-paced online module is concerned, what you need to understand is, if you have written 6 papers, or if you have passed 6 papers, don't go through this detailed notification. There is no point in reading everything. If you have passed 6 papers, like here, paper 1, 2, 3, and then you will have to write these 3 papers, 6 papers, means you have to write 4 self-paced online modules. If you have passed 7 papers, for example, I'll just give you an example here. If you have passed 7 papers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7. When you pass 7 papers, A and B you need to write, you can choose one of C and D. So instead of breaking your head in, sir, this scheme, that scheme, this unit, that unit, simple summary for all of you is, if you have passed 7 papers, you need to write 3 self-paced modules. If you have passed 6 papers, you need to write 4 self-paced modules. If you have passed 8 papers, that is, let's say normal 23, you need to write only 2 self-paced online modules, right? So this is the summary. This is the entire summary. They have made a 8-page long announcement. That is the summary. And here where I found it very not so intuitive is this part. I found it injustice to the existing students. Cost accounting and financial management, if you have cleared, they should have given exemption in financial management, which meant those students would have automatically passed, right? But that didn't happen, and they have made it very, very complex structure. I'm sure there will be not many students from this category. This is a very old scheme that is running. But what you need to understand is, even if you get exemption, my sincere request is FM, SM, if you get exemption, or if you are getting exemption in advanced accounting, please read these 2 subjects. SM, even if you don't read, I don't care right now, though I am a faculty in SM. Even if you don't read, I will not bother. But FM and advanced accounting, study, do self-study, do whatever you have to do. Be thorough with the concepts. Otherwise, there is no option to quit or to get exemption or not to write examination of FR and SFM in CF and AFM under the new scheme, because there is a lot of relationship. Right now, a lot of questions have come. Sir, I cleared group 1 in IPCC and group 2 in intermediate new. Currently, I have registered for final new scheme in May 24. Am I required to clear Set C and Set D? If you have already cleared, then Set C and Set D is not required. Means if you have already cleared your group 1 and group 2, means you have already cleared intermediate, then that exemption you will get in both of them. You don't need to write Set C and Set D. Sir, I cleared group 1 and having exemption in advance accounts is of no use for later. See, you have cleared advance accounting. For as far as the paper is concerned or as far as your mark sheet is concerned, it may not be of use, but the knowledge that you have got is definitely useful. So what is clear group 1 in November 23 without holding any exemption either in paper 1 accounts and paper 3 costing? What? No. So one thing is, just give me a moment, I'll plug in the charger. Now, one thing is, if you have passed a group, then you are not required to check whether you have got exemption or not. If you have passed the group, you are not required to check whether you have got exemption or not. Group 1 clear means the subject itself is clear. If you have not cleared the group, then you have to check for exemption. Now, one more student, had a question earlier is that, sir, once we take the exemption for remaining papers, do we need to score 50% or 40%? So what happens is, if you have a unit of 2 subjects, you need to score 50% in aggregate, 40% in each of the subjects. Unless you are claiming for infinite exemption where you need to score 50% in the remaining scheme. Okay. So if you clear group 1 in November 23 without even having exemption in accounts or costing, you will be exempted and you will only need to write 2 papers, FMSM and audit. Suppose you are appearing in November 23 clearing group 1 and getting exemption in FM, Eco and auditing. Then I don't know how the mark sheet will look. Actually, that is what I am also waiting for. I need to find one student who will get exemption in clear group 1, get exemption in either paper 7 or paper 8 and also get exemption in auditing. Institute will for now say failed in group 2. But I think subsequently when they migrate to you, they have to declare you as passed because you have exemption in those 2 subjects. Yes, happy, yeah. What is this? Now, one thing, okay, to all the students here right now is, if you were preparing for both the groups in November 23 attempt, please prepare and write accordingly for November 23 attempt. Don't try to, demotivate yourself. See, also understand the messaging you are giving to your own mind. Just because you have got an exemption, I am saying, no sir, I will not write this paper. Means what? Are you also going to say that in final I am not going to write FR? That is not what we are trying to say, right? So the message you are giving to your mind, that confidence that you have, if you are confident, go and write all the 4 papers. And please remember, securing 50 marks or 40 marks in one subject, 45 in one subject, 55 in another subject is much more easier than trying to attempt 60. See, 60 marks, those students who are confident of securing 60 marks in all the all the papers or whatever papers we are talking about, they will not be even afraid of passing the examination. For sure, they will pass the examination. That is very much clear. Okay, so that part I wanted to highlight here as well. If you think that I can get exemption in audit, see my paper, my score, if I tell you audit was 62 only. If you ask me today, sir, can you get exemption? Maybe I can get, maybe I cannot get. So targeting exemption is good, but your objective should be to pass the examination. Then Naresh has a question, sir, I cleared group 1 in exempt audit and FM Eco. So technically, yes, I have already responded to that. Then Pragya Ladha has one question. Suppose if you clear group 1 in November, then in May 24, student have to give audit and FM. Marking will be from 100 days. 100 marks, you have to get 50%. Sir, I have cleared group 1 in May 22 and have exemption in advanced accounting 66 in November 22. If I clear group 2 in November 23 with audit 60 and FM Eco 60 without focusing on EIS, am I pass? Now the problem is, if you are taking that, see, you got exemption in May 22, which means your exemption is there for November 22, May 23 and November 23. Now to get exemption in any of the papers, you need to write all the 4 papers. If you are not writing all the 4 papers, you do not get the exemption. So just by say focusing on those two papers, it will not happen. You need to surrender your exemption and write all the 4 papers. If your preparation is well, so Gopal has this question, if your preparation is well, going as per plan, please write both the groups. Don't try to see, just understand, no, the kind of message that you're giving to your mind or giving to yourself. What are you targeting? What is your objective? I want to become a chartered accountant. As a chartered accountant, or when you have to become a chartered accountant, you should not be afraid of examinations. So if your preparation is going on well, then please go with both the groups. If your preparation for whatever reason was not going on well, then try to figure out where you can get exemptions. But I'll tell you, getting exemption is not easy, and Institute has given relaxation here. We will have to wait and watch what kind of results will we get after November 23 examination. If I get exemption in audit FM in ECO in November 23 and if I fail the group, what are the subjects I have to write? Pass group 1. No need to write anything. You are already passed. I have cleared group 1 and group 2, audit and EIS exemption. Okay, so we already have a case, way to enlightenment. I would suggest to write down your name, and we will want to see your mark sheet, what the institute does. You have cleared group 1 already. Group 2 audit and EIS exemption is there in May. So your group 2 is also automatically cleared. That is, but they will not say you cleared in November 23. They will give you clearance in May 24 after the transition. And also understand there will be a 6 months of delay for that. So whoever is this way to enlightenment, please send your mark sheet to our support number. I would like to actually follow and see what would be the way they would give the result after the examination. Sir, Set C and Set D are exemption who have cleared inter 8 papers, yes, and eligible to write final, yes. Even if you are writing for the first time, Set C and Set D are exempt. Tilak, sir, I have cleared group 1 in IPCC and cleared group 2 by unit 10 and registered for final. So if you have already registered for final, C and D are exempt, so no need to worry. Sir, can exemption be carried forward? Yes, by securing that 50-50 marks in remaining paper, you can carry forward. Sir, cleared group 1 and if November I have an exemption, then group 2 is cleared. Yes, that is cleared. But again, all of you who are thinking, I am telling you from the bottom of my heart, all of you are thinking, I am not discouraging you. It is not easy to secure exemption in those papers. Okay, it is not easy. Theoretical papers, lengthy papers, right? So just don't think that it is easy to score. Yeah, if it was so easy to score 60 marks, then we would have had 60-70% pass percentage. Okay, so average marks are below 50. So please understand that. If you have got exemption in the past, then it's a different thing. My final CA final AIR 2 marks in one of the paper was only 44. So you can't really predict. What will be the paper, what kind of preparation level you will have, how will you write the examination. One silly mistake from 60 will come down to 50. So that is one thing. If you are very strong, yes, I can get all the type of exemption. I am excellent in theory. I know everything in FM. Then please go ahead and target for exemption. So Manish, thanks Manish for sharing that. I request you to please send your mark sheet to our support number with the message reference to this YouTube live. I'll just give my number here, the support number. I want to get in touch with you, and I want to see what would happen subsequently. So yes, for someone like Money Mac, who is saying that yes, if you are strong in audit and FM, focus on those. But to the extent possible, my sincere advice would be to prepare in this particular examination, trying to pass the second group. Plus, of course, focus on exemption on those 2 papers. Sir, I have cleared group 1 IPCC, now taking unit 10. Mohan, if you can ping me, because I'll have to recheck your requirement. That is slightly complicated, and then I'll get back to you. Sir, I have cleared group 1. If I score exemption in FM, the number is given there. Mohan, you can send your details there or ask in the forum. I'll respond to that, because I think I need to go back and recheck, because it's again a 8-page thing, right? Ramya, I have cleared group 1. If I score exemption, how many marks should I score in auditing? 50. Sir, I have applied for CA final group 1 only, but I want to apply both groups. Yes, in the correction window, yesterday we figured out in our fast track batch group, right? So there they said, yes, we just discussed and figured out that you can actually add one more group. So that can be done. Okay. So that is one more thing. So I think we have covered broadly. That's it from my side. Any more questions, drop it as a comment and we'll be more than happy to respond to that. Very happy for the students. Also happy for those students who have passed group 2 because they have that knowledge. Those of you who are thinking of this exemption route, again one last time I'm telling you, please focus on concepts. You may not write the exams, but focus on concepts of both advanced accounting and financial management. See, if you're writing unit, so what happens is, if you have to write unit based examination, then you have to score 50% in that unit. You have to score 50% in that unit. Now, if you are, so I'll actually have to recorrect myself. If you have cleared group 1 and only AI system of group 2 with exemption, then I think audit you can pass with 40 because 60 plus 40 will be 100. So the criteria is in the mark sheet that you get. So let me put it very simply, because different students are falling under different kind of categories. If in the mark sheet there are 2 papers, in those 2 papers aggregate should be 50%, each paper you should score more than 40%. Okay, this rule of thumb you can apply and check for any of the marks. Set A and Set B can be completed after May 24. Yes. Will law and SCMP be tested? Yes, of course they will test. If I pass group 2 in November 23, I am eligible to write Set A and Set B, or should I give Set C and Set D also? Depends what happened to your group 1. If you have already cleared group 1 and group 2, then Set A and Set B are exempt. If you have written group 2, you will pass group 2 now, and the remaining papers of group 1 you need to write, that is your income tax, then your law, and you will need to write income tax, law. Only 2 papers, right? Just a second, I also got confused. So if you clear group 2, so what you need to write? You need to write corporate law, costing and taxation, 3 papers. So 3 papers plus 4 papers, 7 papers, right? So you have to give one of the Set C and Set D. Right? So that's it from my side. Thanks a lot for joining in, and we'll come up with more updates and guidance on how you should prepare for the examination and do well in the examination. Chalo, bye.